Hello everyone and welcome back to another part of my F1 23 My Team career mode. Episode number 3 today for the Australian Grand Prix Down Under in Melbourne. I'm really excited, and if you do remember last time out, we quickly do some activities here. We had an insane wet to dry race in Saudi Arabia, where the odds of getting rain are really low. It's in the Middle East, so you barely ever get rain there. And it was an absolute banger. And in the end, we came home in 11th, just outside the points, after making a decision to pit onto the slicks, which might not have been the right one. Our teammate Felipe Drugovich still, I believe, finished second to last, which is quite disappointing from him in a car that really we should be around 11th overall in the performance index. But Max Verstappen takes second place, and Leclerc, who did DNF from the lead last time in Bahrain, takes the win this time out. So let's skip a bit of time, but after a bit of R&D, if there's anything we can do. But before even that, we're going to be making a change to our car's livery. We're changing a couple of the colours, and this is going to be the new livery we're going to be running. The main red, the main body hasn't changed. We've changed the blue, just the paint finish, no actual colour change. But I hope you like it. We will be running it for the rest of the season. That's going to be the livery. But now a bit of R&D that hopefully we can do. We can't do that drag reduction upgrade, which is a shame because I think that'd be really impact our car a lot. The only upgrade we can actually do is the chassis, because obviously we have Spec 1 on the chassis. So we're going to purchase that weight reduction upgrade, I believe. And then both our upgrades fail. Both our engine power and durability upgrade both fail. Now we have a department event, which we go for 750 more resource points, which we can then repurchase these upgrades. You'll notice I'm doing this extremely fast. I just wanted to really get on with it. I was a bit annoyed that those two upgrades failed. But it is what it is, and now we're gonna see if we're gonna buy another, try and make Aero Spec 1 as quickly as possible. I was thinking whether we should focus on the quality control or the resource generation, and I in the end go for the resource for the quality control, which we can buy now, while we'd have to wait for the other resource point increase generation. And now we can buy that drag reduction, which should come in for Miami if we're lucky. Hopefully that quality control will make it so it doesn't fail, but we will see next episode. Anyway then, I think that's it pretty much in general. Let's head to the Australian Grand Prix. First things first then, looking at the R&D chart, you see it says all 3 of our upgrades failed. 2 of them failed, 1 of them succeeded, but it's going to be dry. It's going to be sunny, 1% chance rather than the 40% chance we had in Jeddah last time. And we are now still behind Alpine, who make a small upgrade. We also make a small upgrade. But we have so many upgrades on the go at the moment, which is very solid indeed. Now we've done quick practice. Let's head into quali after we do a bit more R&D. We've got 1,185 points to spend. Let's see what we can spend them on. We can't do anything on the aero just yet, but all the time we actually can't do anything. That's actually quite surprising, because obviously we've got 2 chassis upgrades going on at the moment. The aero, powertrain and durability, we only can have 1 on at a time. So that's all we can do then. Now let's head into quali then for the Australian Grand Prix. And to begin, we have a cooling system fault, which is very solid indeed. I only just realised I completely forgot to, because in Australia you have to, it's usually your first change in engine, so we have to change that, and we do change that just in time. We won't have to serve a penalty then, luckily for us, but it's going to be 12 minutes, and I'm not sure we'll be able to set a lap here. It's going to be very interesting. So we're going to skip the repair time, and then go out immediately, and we're going to have basically a one-shot quali to the end. First lap then, only lap, cross the line with 10 seconds more or less to spare. This lap is going to have to count because we don't have another run to go on. Everyone else is going out for a second time. Djokovic only 18th, and his is the time we're going to have to beat, like on the mini map on the top left by quite a bit. And we are doing that, but it's very marginal at the moment. Djokovic now down in 20th, Magnussen 18th. Now we're going to have to beat whoever's in 16th. I'm not sure who it is, but either way, up to the line we're going to go. Powering out through the last corner, it's going to be a 1:24, and that's going to put us in P14. Yes, we do make it through into Q2, as we should. But I believe Djokovic is out in quali. I believe he's 21st. It's very unfortunate, but we do make it through into Q2. And Daniel Ricciardo topping the session, followed by Yuki Tsunoda, a second faster than everyone else. Wow. That's probably a simulation time, to be honest. But, you know, I'm glad the AlphaTauri is doing well. Obviously, I have my history with them, but it's nice to see. And yep, Djokovic is in P21 ahead of Logan Sargent though, so I guess that's a positive. Alex Albon out, both Hasses and Alfa Romeo of Zhou Guanyu also out. So it's Sargent, Djokovic, Zhou Guanyu, Kevin Magnussen, Nico Hulkenberg, and Alexander Albon, the 6 drivers we've lost here in Q1. In Q2 then, once again, I believe this is an old set of tyres that we're going on, and we do actually encounter quite a bit of traffic towards the end of our run. We had to overtake Verstappen. We would have had to overtake Gasly there if we hadn't just lost it almost in the last corner. But we did encounter a bit of traffic. Hopefully that's not muddied our lap too much. We give Verstappen a toe a bit there as well. And it's a 1:26, which is 2/10 slower than our previous time. And we're going to have to go again because that's only put us P12. And we really should be getting into Q3 here around Albert Park. But this car just feels a bit wobbly. I think we've not put enough front wing on, but we'll see in the race. But I'm going to take you through this lap then with Martin Brundle. I mean with me, Rob Jeffrey. But anyway, at the end of the first sector, we are 2.5 tenths up and 4 tenths up on Yuki Tsunoda. As it stands, we are forecast to get out of Q2 into Q3. Everyone else has crossed the line. We're currently 14th, Ricciardo in 16th, Tsunoda in 12th, so they couldn't replicate that form they had in Q1. But either way, we do lose a bit of time in Sector 2, but we're still 2 tenths up. Going into the final and most important sector of them all. This is where you can really gain time or you can really lose time, as we've done the latter there, but then gained it back with just carrying it through. It's up to the line, 6 tenths, 7 tenths. Is it going to be enough to get us into Q3? We're about to find out. Will it be? What's that? Is that P9? Yes, we do manage to get through into Q3. Solid from us. Obviously, that was a new set of soft compound tyres, though. Leclerc topping the session, leading a Ferrari 1-2, leading a Mercedes 3-4, leading a Red Bull 5-6, leading a McLaren 7-8, then us, and then it would be Alpine 9-10. So really mixed up grid order if it wasn't for us. That's very solid indeed. AlphaTauris, like I said, unable to replicate their Q1 lap times, but we've got a really mixed up grid here. I'm really excited to see who's going to put it on pole. First lap then in Q3. Hopefully it can be a banger, because I only have one run here in Q3. I want to save a couple tyres for the race. And this is going to be crucial, this lap. Hopefully we can put it a bit more than P9, put a lap that, you know, might be a bit more competitive. And up to the line then, it's a 1:19.4, which is miles better than any of our lap times in Q2, but only 9th.
Verstappen, Leclerc and Carlos Sainz. Well, that wraps up qualifying, but don't worry, we'll be back tomorrow as we head into the Grand Prix.
P9 for us then, with a 19.4, which is, I believe, a second faster than our Q1 time. So really interesting to see how everyone's just really improved. But it's Max Verstappen on pole by 3/10. The two Ferraris in second and third, followed by Perez in fourth. Now let's head into the race for the Australian Grand Prix.
This used to be the season opener before it fell victim to a pandemic reshuffling. But now Albert Park is back at the heart of the F1 calendar, so welcome to sun-kissed Melbourne for the Australian Grand Prix. We go racing today then in the state of Victoria, where the drivers have 14 corners and 3.28 miles to navigate at an average lap speed of around 120 miles per hour. The close proximity of the barriers make accidents inevitable, and recent history shows us that a safety car is not at all out of the question. Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. Max Verstappen put in a fantastic lap yesterday, and he'll start from pole position. And it's Charles Leclerc in P2. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Sainz, Perez, Norris, Russell, Gasly, Iceman, Oscar Piastri, Ocon, Fernando Alonso, Tsunoda, Stroll, Bottas, Ricciardo, Albon, Hamilton, Hulkenberg, Magnussen, Joe, Drogovic, and Logan Sargent. It's almost time for the lights to go out, so let's head down to the track where preparations are underway. What would any Grand Prix weekend be without the one and only Natalie Pinkham? Why don't we kick off by discussing Max Verstappen?
What a quality performance. The big question, though, is how does that translate on race day? Can they hold on to that lead? And apart from that, keep an eye out for anyone getting a good launch from the midfield. You see it happen from time to time, and it can really throw a spanner into the races of the quicker cars and push them onto a more risky strategy.
Starting P8 then, if you noticed, because of Lewis Hamilton's grid penalty. I'm not sure where that's come from, but we're going to see which is faster here. I'm going to go with the soft medium if everyone else is starting around us starting on soft. Behind us they are. In front of us, though, almost on mediums. So I'm not sure what's gone here. I think I'll go on the softs to try and get a good start. George Russell also on the softs. So maybe he saved a set just like us in Q3. But either way then, let's start this race and get cracking. We're going to do the soft medium, and that's going to be our set for this first stint of the race. Hopefully our car likes the soft. It has in previously, as we do get a huge amount of anti still there. I was a bit unsure how to get out of it, but lining up to the grid then. Everyone else so we re-overtook the cars on the formation lap afterwards. And our first time we get a starting position reset. Great. So good thing we chose these soft tyres. We need to get away really well now. But here we go then. 5 red lights from further behind the parking spot than we needed. Hit down under the Australian Grand Prix. It's lights out and we're underway. Or not. We're not under. Perez and Sainz aren't underway. They get an awful getaway. As into turn 1 we go. Holding it. And now Lando Norris dueling with Lando. We just get ahead and we're up into P4. What a start. These soft tyres really helping us out. Russell also made huge gains. He's up into P3. So the soft tyres, the tyre to be on at the start of this race. We have chosen bang on, and those medium runners might have the advantage later on in the race, but at the moment it's advantage us. At the end of Sector 1 then, I'm not sure though if we'll be able to hang on to the runners ahead of us, because Russell already a second down the road and Norris already wanting to overtake us. Round the outside, thought about it, can't quite do it. We stick to the inside line, but Norris still manages to go round the outside, but we cut him off, not having any of that. And we do retain that P4 in this opening lap, but with our fighting with Lando, it's already now been 2 seconds that have been gained by Russell and Verstappen and Leclerc, who I believe has overtaken Verstappen at the start, just like he did in Bahrain, and is leading the race. But then Norris now lap 2, the next lap at the same position, going for the move on us. Not much we can do about it except deploy ERS and switch from the right to the left and re-overtake him. But he's very aggressive and he does actually get that position on us, and I can't see us coming back at him, especially as now Gasly is right on our tail, going for the move on the inside. Nothing we can do, and Norris is now gone off into the distance after only a couple corners, and we're looking once again behind us rather than ahead of us. And now Piastri is now overtaken Gasly, as we did pull away from them initially for a bit, but then under DRS they just came back at us. And starting lap 5, then we squeezed Piastri out. That was maybe a bit illegal, but we do keep the position. We keep that P5. As now Piastri, I'm sure, will be wanting that P5 that he has now. Sainz coming from behind, closing in on us, but we got to fight Piastri first. Piastri going for the move on P5, and he makes the move up into P5, but can we come back at him, get a decent exit? But obviously Piastri has that DRS, and we're going to need to overtake Piastri before Sainz overtakes us, because we need that buffer to Sainz. And we do brake extremely late, but we do manage to go back down the inside. And now Sainz has caught up to us, which will now soon be followed by Pierre Gasly, Lance Stroll and Esteban Ocon. But we will soon see. We're leaving a massive train of cars here at the moment. And lap 7, once again, haven't really managed to stop them. But here we go then. Carlos Sainz going for the move on us. Perez is out the session. That's another free position we'll take. Thank you very much. Sainz overtook both of us initially. We do fight him back for that position. But Perez, by the way, I believe he pit really early, so that won't be a free position for us. I'm not sure why. I think he got damage on the opening lap, because as you can see, his car is parked at the end of Sector 3. There's now Sainz and I once again dueling. Sainz aggressively pushes us. We're going to try and hang it round the outside. We get a warning for a collision, which is probably fair. I hope Sainz has got an equal warning as well, though. But we're still in P5, as that's Perez's car there. And lap 8, Sainz didn't really try to overtake us. These soft tyres really helped us to defend against the Ferraris, the Ferrari and Oscar Piastri. Coming into the pits then, we're going to try and go for the undercut on them. We need to go for the undercut on them. Good stop from the crew, 2.4, that will 100% do. As now Oscar Piastri, on our outlap, has spun it. I'm not sure what has happened to him. I don't think he's out. Yeah, I think he just spun or something. But that's really helpful for us then. So that's a position we don't have to worry about. We're up in P20 now instead of P21. So that's really nice. And Piastri hasn't pit either, which is very solid for us. So we should definitely be aiming to score points this race. And the gap to Sargent has sure gone down a lot. So hopefully this undercut has been very powerful As now, coming around the final corner, we're going to see how many cars we overtake. Obviously, we will overtake pretty much all of these because they weren't really in our race. But is that, I believe that's Fernando Alonso has come out ahead of us. I'm not sure where that's come from, but his tyres are really cold. He does get DRS though, but we have a lot of ERS to deploy, and we go down the inside, very aggressive, very late, but we do keep it all. We do keep the tyres on the circuit, so that was a very legal move, braking really late there, and we go up into P14. But I don't want to fight Fernando, but because I want to try and focus on making the undercut work to Carlos Sainz. Here is now Drugovich in the pits, our teammate, as is Logan Sargent. We're going to see how many other cars we managed to undercut. We've obviously definitely got a teammate and Sargent coming out of pits P10 then, so we should have points this race as long as we can keep Fernando Alonso behind us. As just checking near the race director, checking how many other people have pit, checking Sainz hasn't pit, which he hasn't. Hamilton though going for a long stint, going for the overcut. As now Fernando Alonso going for the move round the outside. We're not having that. And yeah, so on Lewis's strategy about going for the overcut, that's very brave of him, considering how good new tyres are. But I guess a Mercedes is a lot faster than an AlphaTauri, for example, even on a lot older tyres. There's now a lot of people in the pit lane. So there's Carlos Sainz. We are going to overtake him just into turn one. We just stay ahead of that Ferrari. Wow, that was very close. But he is still behind us, and maybe we have increased that gap. And they've gone on to hards, which is interesting because I thought surely softs would be the faster tyre from here to the end, especially as we went on them for about 9 laps. But now here comes Fernando Alonso. Lance Stroll also sniffing about. He overtook Sainz. Obviously, he's on mediums. Alonso going for the move. We're going to hold it round the outside, but Alonso just gets a much better exit. But can we try and hold it? Yes, we can. And now Alonso, we compromise his line, and he's and both Aston Martins now, we're going 3 wide with the 2 Aston Martins. It's us. We're in a sandwich, as we just got nowhere to go. But we just somehow find the room. Alonso got so compromised on that exit there that Stroll had a sniff about, managed to overtake him, and as now Lewis Hamilton's strategy has worked, he's in P7 ahead of the Ferrari of Carlos Sainz. So I don't know where that's come from, but we will sure 100% take it. There's now Hamilton going for the move on us. We're going to brake really late just to try and keep him, keep that P5. This would be our best result of the season so early as well. Be crucial. But now lap 15, Alonso's in the pits. I have no idea why. Maybe you're damaged from all that kerfuffle we've had with so many cars just in a train behind us. As now Stroll overtakes us. Nothing we can do about that. I want to save some ERS for the closing laps as we look at our MFD there. And we've got damage to our front wing. Maybe that's why we're really struggling here. The car, like I said in qualifying, just feels so loose. We do not have enough front wing on. I just can't get the exits. The soft tyres kind of mask that. These mediums, worn mediums, really struggling. I have no idea where we got the front wing damage, by the way, because as Hamilton overtakes us, I genuinely don't know. Because the tyre wear on that tyre isn't high, and usually it would be a lot higher if you've damaged that side of the car. But we get a warning there for corner cutting, which is fair enough. I did cut the corner. And then you can see just braking really bad, just really struggling with these tyres. And we've still got another 4 laps to go. And you'll see on the exit of this corner, I'm not applying the throttle that much. But I still am really struggling to keep the car under control. I keep moving so much understeer and then oversteer. It's very difficult. So now Alex Albon overtakes me. I'm going to try and go back around the outside. Don't know when I collided with him, but okay. And as you can see, Hamilton has overtaken Stroll up ahead. He closed up to him, which, you know, would happen. He's in a Mercedes compared to an Aston Martin, and a lot better driver is Lewis Hamilton. But you can see I'm struggling because Alexander Albon and Yuki Tsunoda are fighting us, and we're in a car that's supposedly a lot better than theirs. But our car is clearly set up for qualifying, not the race. So we'll see. Is now Albon going for the move on us? I believe Ocon going for the move on Tsunoda as well. We have to go put the car in neutral to slow it down, and we get a huge, almost spin it again. I'm really struggling. As we go on to the last lap, at the end of next lap, it will be the final lap. And you can see Max Verstappen behind us. Tsunoda tries to make it 3 wide, having none of that. And once again, going into neutral. Verstappen almost laps us this race. In a 20-lap race, we are almost lapped by Max Verstappen. As we go onto the gravel there, we're just really struggling. Brakes so late again. We're not late. We're not braking late. We're just really fighting the car almost for the width for this here. As now Verstappen overtakes half the field as we move on to the last lap. There's no point blue flags, mate. The race is already over for him. He was pretty much a lap ahead of us. As going on to the last lap there, it might have been a good thing if he overtakes us. This is Yuki Tsunoda going for the move on the inside. We hold it round the outside, and this lap is going to have to be the best lap I have ever put in. The tyres really screaming now, 40%. The undercut, maybe not the best strategy now, as it's really hurting us. It's now, they will have, there's 3 more DRS zones for them to get us to realistically, because I can't see them getting us on the final straight. But this is their first chance. And it is Yuki Tsunoda going for the move. We're going to hold it round the outside. We squeeze in, and we do keep that position. But we're going to still have 1 more DRS straight to go, and he's right on our back. ERS deploying for us. And he is going to go for the move on the outside, but we have that inside line, which is crucial, as we are going to defend that position. And I think we're good. I think we are good. I think we will get P7 this race. Yes, our best result in the team, coming at probably the most unlikely venue. Our car really doesn't suit this track. But either way, our chassis will be needing a lot of improvement. We've got the worst on the grid, and it's really shown today. But up to the line, it's going to be P7 for us. Tsunoda almost overtook us there, so take back what I said a couple seconds ago. That was a really close finish. We probably don't deserve that P7, but we will take it every day of the week at the moment.
Is nothing without a team behind it. So, the deserved winner, but we do have to give shout out to the team. Pitting and back at the factory. Very much a collaborative process.
These winners, the team at Red Bull have done a phenomenal job recently, and it's clear to see that they've put in the work, and they should be so proud of the victory they've secured here. So let's review the driver's standings. Max Verstappen should be pleased with his performance, making gains at the top of the table. So then, Natalie Pinkham, who would you rank as your driver of the day?
Often, my go-to would be a driver who's managed to pull off an especially impressive feat during the race. However, in this instance, I was more impressed by Max Verstappen's solid, clean driving throughout the event.
It's time to see how things are shaping up in the Constructors' Championship. And with that, we wrap up another weekend of motorsport action. But with more races lined up, be sure to join us when we come back with more Formula One.
we're ninth then. Now, still ninth, I believe. We were ninth at the start of the episode. Correct me on that if we're wrong. But we're now sixth in the constructors. That's not changed either. But Max Verstappen winning the race, extending his lead, as Crofty said. Hamilton, an immense recovery from him. Really impressive. I'm not sure why the two Spaniards pit, but might have been for damage. I'm not sure, because we certainly were leading a whole pile of cars there, just like the Alonso was in 2022. But that's going to be very interesting. And now we're going to quickly do these events. We're not going to actually skip any time, but we're going to do a bit of stuff that we wouldn't do at the end of the episode. We're going to do this department event quickly, and our rival is going to be Pierre Gasly. I feel like we've had more battles with him than Ocon on track. So we are going to go with Monsieur Gasly.
Thanks. I appreciate you taking the time to help us.
And then we now have 1.1 million as well to splash out some cash. And I was thinking where to put this, and it's going to be the quality control, I reckon. I reckon that's the best call of action, and we are now left with a whopping £600. $600, if you will, left on our R&D, but it is not on R&D. £600 left as the team, so that's all my life savings. But anyway, if you have enjoyed this video, please do make sure to like and subscribe. It does help out so much, and I'll see you guys next time for the Miami Grand Prix. Goodbye.